my name is Weber, and welcome to my Chrome Built-in AI Challenge project. In this project, I am interested in solving the problem of enhancing the learning experience from PDFs using LLMs. PDFs are one of the most common ways to transfer knowledge, but the interface is usually relatively static. Users usually passively read from PDFs and would need to pull information out of the PDFs in order to reconstruct the knowledge in a separate document or even on paper, outside of the context of the PDF. This is a lot of overhead. Also, crucial to the learning experience is the ability to interact with the information, to challenge, to reformulate, and to synthesize information. In the current PDF user interface, this cannot be done easily. So I think the learning experience can be enhanced by integrating the LLMs into the PDF specific functionalities to allow us to connect the dots more easily. Hence, I built a web plugin that I call Socratic PDF that integrates the Chrome built-in AI APIs into a web PDF viewer. In this project, I focus on the ability to interact with highlights in PDFs. One of the most common interactions in the PDF format is highlighting text. Usually, readers highlight passages in the PDFs to show the importance of particular sections of text. It is common that we would want to combine, contrast, or reference these passages to produce new ideas, to rewrite, or simply to summarize the information from these passages. View of the plugin. It is basically a PDF viewer with two sidebars. One sidebar shows the highlights that the users have created inside the PDF, and the second sidebar is a chat box that allows users to ask questions about the highlights. And there are three modes: write, rewrite, and summarize. And these correspond directly to the API calls used behind the scenes to communicate with Gemini models. And this PDF viewer allows users to create highlights, to remove highlights, and these highlights also have the page number on them, so users can refer to the specific highlights they refer to inside the questions they ask. So for example, if I want to create a summarization of these two paragraphs, I could highlight them and ask Gemini, could you summarize the highlighted points? Wait for it to respond. And here you can see that it created a summary that discusses the exhaustive search in large games and highlighting that exhaustive search is too slow for large games and we need to have more efficient searching algorithms. Highlighting that the strongest Go programs now use position evaluation and policy-based search. So yeah, so that's a pretty good summary of these two paragraphs. And let's try the write API. So we get to the details of the paper. So here it's talking about the first stage of training pipeline using supervised learning with the SL policy network, and could also highlight the second stage of training pipeline and ask Gemini to contrast the two stages. So let's say, could you contrast the first and second stage of training pipeline mentioned in page 3 and page 6, and wait for it to respond. So here you can see that it says the first stage of training pipeline uses supervised learning to predict expert go moves, while the second stage uses policy gradient reinforcement learning to improve the policy network, which sounds about right. Looking at the titles. Yeah, so I think overall this provides a good interface for users to interact with the knowledge they obtain inside PDFs. And all this is in the context of the current PDF that the users are viewing, rather than having to go off to another document or so I think it's just a more natural way to connect the dots, and and I really enjoyed making this tool, and I think I'll use it myself on a daily basis. Yeah, and thanks for listening.